Hello Internet, welcome to something new. We're going to be playing Circadian Dice. This is a recently released dice building roguelite, which is available for free on itch.io. I highly recommend you go pick it up while it's free. I have no idea if they have plans to release this on Steam or a pay version. If you're watching this dev team, I would highly recommend you do that. I think you've made a really nice little game here, and I think you could be making some money from this. But anyway, we're going to be playing this, and the main reason is because they're very short runs, and that allows me to record a lot of videos, and I really need some footage. So today we're going to run through the tutorial in this video and maybe take on the bandit raid. But we're going to explain things as we go. I have been playing this in my free time just a little bit because like I said, it's a really good game and I enjoy it very much. So let's hop into the tutorial, shall we? Now in the tutorial we have to play as the Cleric. There are multiple different classes in the game, all with different abilities. And then we have many items as well, which we will unlock throughout playing, and we can upgrade our character. But for the purposes of the tutorial, we don't have that available to us. So let's jump into the tutorial. I will explain things as I go. Welcome to Circadian Dice. This game is all about dice. Your dice are used to gain resources and defeat enemies. Start each scenario with two 6-sided die. We can see their faces down here. This is what you have rolled for your first turn. The panel below show all the faces of each die, and then enemies appear in waves. This tutorial scenario has 6 waves of enemies. First wave only has a single scarecrow. Let's practice using your dice to defeat it. Current roll isn't very useful. The reroll button shows how many rerolls you have left this turn. Click on it to reroll. Yeah, so every turn we will roll our dice and we will get we will get a face from each die that we roll. We can have up to 4 die as the game progresses and we gain experience. Now each roll that we pick, each symbol has its own thing going on, and if we don't like something we can re-roll it. Now we can't save individual die faces. If we click the re-roll button it will re-roll all available die faces, but the tutorial wants us to do that, so let's do that. Alright, much better. With this roll we can attack for 1 damage and gain 1 gold. Click the keep button or a rolled die face to keep this roll. So we'll keep this and we automatically get that coin, which will go into our little coin purse here, which we can use to upgrade. We'll talk about that when we get there. We can now click and drag the sword face we rolled to the scarecrow to attack it. So we'll do that. It deals 1 damage. Great, the scarecrow still has 1 more health, but you can't do more right now. Click the next button to end your turn. And then normally an enemy will have an attack of their own, and when we click next is when the enemies will attack. Now try to defeat the scarecrow this turn. So basically if we kept this die, which it doesn't seem to allow us to do in the tutorial, we would gain 1 coin and we would gain 1 health back. But it wants us to reroll until we get an attack here, and we'll keep this. Blue gems we'll talk about eventually. The gems in the game will pay for our special abilities, and these abilities are based on our current class. So we'll keep that, we get a blue gem, and we will kill the scarecrow. When all enemies have been defeated or you run out of turns, because there is a time limit on each wave, the wave will end. Press next turn to get a reward before facing the next wave. And here's kind of part of the roguelike element of this, is that we get to choose how we upgrade as we go. These things, I'm not sure what exactly determines what options you get every time you complete a wave, but there's usually something, and at the bare minimum we will have this score multiplier. We have a score in the upper right corner, and we get stars based on the amount of score we get when we clear a particular scenario, and that's used for unlocking the many things in the game. You're doing well, so let's choose the score reward. The faster you defeat a wave, the more points you get. Choose score reward several times in a row to get a streak bonus. Yeah, I'm still not 100% on how the streak bonus calculates exactly, but the faster we finish killing a wave off, the more flat out points that we get. So that's a good option many times. You can upgrade your dice at almost any time. Each upgrade changes 2 faces on a die. Try buying an upgrade from the shop. You have enough gold to buy any of them, so choose freely. You can mouse over a die face to get more information. So this is the most basic way that we will upgrade our die as we play the game, or dice rather, as we play the game. And these different symbols, like I said, mean different things. So for instance, here we have a key, and the other great thing about this game is the mouse over text. Pretty much everything is explained. It's something, obviously we see that in something like Slay the Spire, but so many games fail to put good mouse over tooltips, and this game, explains basically everything, which is fantastic. So here we have a key. This will allow us to unlock chests if we find a chest from an enemy. And then here we have the arrows, which represent a piercing attack. This allows us to pierce enemy shields. So of these, which would I pick? This is a very good set right here because it gives us attack and defend in addition to, you know, all this other healing and stuff. And as the Cleric, healing is generally pretty powerful. And then the thing about buying these two from the shop is that they overwrite an existing pair. Now we can rotate. Let's just pick one. Let's pick the triple attack and the 2 gold coin. Oh, it's going to make me replace my hearts? Okay, then let's do this one, I guess. That way we can keep some hearts on our board, although having a triple attack is really good. Let's just go triple attack. You can rotate the upgrade with space, the middle mouse button, or by left clicking. Try installing it on the die. So we can actually choose where we would want to put this in normal play, but for the tutorial it wants us to put them here. And we can rotate this and kind of figure out, you know, what do we want to replace and all that. And then later in the game there are actually die that have special modifiers that instead of replacing a die face, it actually gets added to that die face. But for now we'll just plop this down. Great, for each gold you spend on an upgrade you also get 1 experience point. You also get experience from defeating enemies, real enemies, not these dummies. When you get enough experience you gain a level and get a new ability, a new die, or more health. So you'll see here at level 3 we will get a 3rd die. Having more dice than, you know, just 1 or 2 is obviously beneficial. So alright, when you buy an upgrade, a new upgrade is added to the shop. At the end of each turn, the upgrade at the bottom is removed from the shop and a new one is added. Yes, so they descend as we pass turns, and these will not always be here. We'll get new options. We also, in typical play, we have the option of re-rolling the shop. Let's try using an ability. You need gems to use abilities. Shield Bash costs 1 blue gem to use and allows you to hit enemies with your shields. Click on it to try it out. So the way shields work in this game is basically for every shield point you have when you keep your die, that will basically it will block 1 point of damage per shield icon that you have. With the Shield Bash ability, we actually get this shield, but we also get the ability to attack with it for 2 points of damage. So we'll activate our ability, and you can see now it has 2, may be very difficult to see on mobile, but there are 2 small attack icons on this as well. So we can use this not only to shield ourselves, which you'll see here we got the shield, but we could attack for 2 points of damage. Each ability has a limited number of charges, which we can see here. Each time you use it, you spend 1 charge, and when you run out of charges, you lose that ability. There are some abilities in the game that you keep when they're empty, but for the most part, they will just disappear. So now we have to defeat this scarecrow. And they don't have an attack value, so we don't have to worry about them. So let's just re-roll until we get an attack. We could re-roll again and hope to pick up some coins as well, but I think we just kill the enemy here. It's just the tutorial. I don't think we want gold. We'll just go score streak again. Whoops, maybe we shouldn't have wrecked those scarecrows. These birds look like bad news. Each crow will attack for 2 damage at the end of the turn, but each shield you keep reduces damage from every attack during a turn by 1. Keep an eye on your health. If it reaches 0, you die. Yes. So we could re-roll in hopes of getting some shields, but having a triple attack means we can kill one of the enemies outright. And you'll see because we leveled up, we actually got access to a new ability. So we can have Aspect of Healing, which for 1 white gem will add 2 heart symbols permanently to one of our die faces that we select, as long as it's not a trap die. Or we can get Strategic Retreat, increase your shield by 1, then gain 1 gold and 2 health for each shield you have. So just because it's expensive, I don't think we're going to take that. We'll take the ability to add hearts to our die. And just to illustrate that, let's use that now. So we click this, it spends 1 white gem, and then any die face we click will now have an additional 2 red hearts. And since we don't have any red hearts at all, let's upgrade, let's say, one of our basic attacks on this die. This die is looking a little sad, so we'll go here. And then, of course, we'll attack with our remaining points. So now in the future, if we roll that, we now get 2 health restored for keeping this die, which obviously put us back up at full health, which is just great. Okay, this time let's get some XP as our reward. At level 3, you get your 3rd die, so getting there quickly is usually a good idea. So we'll take that, and you'll see our XP bar filled, and now we have a 3rd die. And not much to say about that. Obviously, so it depends on what class you're playing, but the third and fourth die are different for each. Every die is different for each class by default, but it's interesting. Some of them are really terrible, some of them are pretty good, but usually the last die is pretty decent. So let's see what we've got here. We want to kill something outright so we take a little less damage. Why don't we focus on just killing one? That bird you just killed was carrying a chest. You can open chests by reducing their health to 0 or by using a key. Chests only remain for one wave and disappear at the end of the turn if no hostile enemies remain. The symbol here shows that an enemy will drop a chest when defeated. So like I said, if we get a key and we roll a key, we can open this immediately, or you'll see it has a heart value, and if we kill it, we actually get the rewards inside. Now the basic treasure chest will just give us some coins and possibly some gems. So not a huge priority to us at the moment. And once we defeat the crows or we run out of time, that chest will disappear, so that's not super great. Let's just focus on whittling down the crows. This one has a much lower health value, so it'll be a lot easier to open. I think, this is just my academic or my anecdotal evidence, but I think that when a chest has more HP, it gives you more rewards. Let's just skip here. We don't have any keys, unfortunately, so we're probably not going to be able to open these, which is totally fine. Moving on. I don't think we need HP. I don't think we need gems. Take the score streak. This bunch of crows are really fast. You only have 2 turns to defeat them. If there are enemies left when the turn for a wave runs out, they disappear, but they add fear equal to your attack. When your fear reaches 10, you lose. You can use this trap to try capturing an enemy in its die. The chance of successful capture is reduced by 10% for each health the enemy has. If the capture fails, the trap gets a bonus for future capture attempts. Okay, so a lot there. Fear, if we get to 10, we lose the game, and when enemies escape, they gain fear. We gain fear based on their attack value. And then there are some enemies in the game that deal fear damage directly, so fear is a pretty scary one. If you're familiar with, like, I think it was poison back in Magic the Gathering, it functioned much the same way. And then these trap die we'll talk about here as we go, but it wants us to capture a crow here. Now a trap can only be used to capture one enemy. Once a trap has been used successfully, its face becomes blank. Blank faces are useless, so they are good spots to install upgrades. Each enemy you capture has a special ability that either happens once when you capture it, or it gives you a bonus for as long as it remains captured. Mouse over the captured enemy to see its ability. So with the crow, there are a couple things going on, but we gain 1 gold when we deal 2+ damage with an attack from this particular die. That's not going to come up very much. We don't really have that kind of damage. But you'll see here too, we have this little fang icon with a 2 next to it. It'll probably explain this. No, it doesn't. Okay. So when you capture an enemy, their attack value is actually represented here. Then whenever we use a fang attack, which appears on some die, it will actually deal damage equal to the attack value of the enemy captured in our dice, in addition to whatever that captured enemy's ability is. So we do have 1 shield, so we'll only take 2 damage here, because it will reduce each of their damage by 1. This fang lets your captured enemy attack. The crow you captured in this die has 2 attacks, so the fang will deal 2 damage. If you had no captured enemy, the fang would only deal 1 damage. We'll go ahead and keep this. This will kill one of them outright, and it will let us damage the other and get enough shield to resist some of the damage. Although it did escape, now that I think about it, we probably should have tried harder to kill it. So here we have 2 fear, and in between it's giving the option to heal or remove fear. I think healing is the bigger concern right now. This is the tutorial boss. He's pretty tough. Bosses must be defeated before the time runs out or you lose. So we have 7 turns to beat this guy. And the boss's shield reduces the damage of your non-piercing attacks by 1. So basically all of these attacks are useless against that enemy. Try using arrows, strong hits, or a trap to defeat him. So really, we only have 2 attacks that can damage this guy. We have our Fang attack, which will deal 1 damage. I don't think they're piercing. Or 3 damage from this would actually deal 2 damage to him. Also, his attacks are piercing, so our shields don't work against his damage. Try your best to defeat the boss. If you fail, you can try the tutorial again or move on to a real adventure. Remember that your Holy Light ability can save you if your health runs low. So we didn't look at that. That actually just heals us for 7 points of damage in addition to increasing our max health. Why don't we instead apply our aspect of healing to one of these dice? So now when we come across that, we will take more value from that. We'll heal. And you'll see here we actually rolled the blank face where our trap used to be, which is just terrible. Although, no, there's nothing in the shop that we really want. So we'll just re-roll. Okay. And this is great because this allows us to deal 2 damage to that enemy and kill one of the crows. So we're doing just fine. Now that I think about it, our shield bash will also deal damage because it is 2 damage. So if we rolled a shield, we could kill him. But we rolled great, so we're just going to put them all down. And there's a treasure chest, but we don't have the option of trying to open that. And then on the final wave, the only option available is to take a score bonus, so we'll go ahead and do that. And of course, the tutorial is very easy, so we pretty easily got 5 stars there. New class high score, new scenario high score. We've unlocked a new scenario called the Vampire Nest. We've unlocked a new relic, which we'll talk about relics next run. And no new classes. Well, that's okay. We're going to play as the Cleric. And so if I select the Bandit Raid here, you can see we actually have the option of equipping a relic. And like I said, there are many relics. It looks like, 5, 8 by 6. So 48 total relics in the game, which is pretty neat. Many of them have very high difficulty things. Like, I believe you have to get, 10 stars in hard mode, which I've never even unlocked hard mode. I don't know how difficult it is. But it's all based on accruing points, basically, with each class and each scenario. So, yeah, we start with 2. They're not very good. 1 basically gives us 4 max health, and heart symbols will restore 2 hearts instead of 1. Probably the more valuable of the starter relics here. And then the other one gives us more gold, 1 gold at the end of each wave. But you got to understand, each run only has, 6 or 8 waves. So at most you're getting maybe 8 gold from this, and it's not really a huge benefit. Now this did take about 20 minutes to complete that tutorial. So I do think we're going to put a cut in here, and I'll be back with more of this game in the near future. But for now, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll dive into the meat of the game in the next episode. So I'll see you in the next video.